My name is Bill Kilroy, Senior Sales Director for Vispero. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 VisionServe Alliance Virtual Executive Leadership Conference, appropriately titled Still Stronger Together. Although we can't be together in person and nothing replaces face-to-face interaction, the conference team at VisionServe Alliance has put together a fantastic conference agenda packed with informative sessions, networking opportunities, and a virtual exhibit hall that will help connect us all during the conference. As the world's largest assistive technology provider for people who are visually impaired, Vispero is very proud to again sponsor the Executive Leadership Conference. We look forward to actively participating along with you in the conference sessions and virtual networking opportunities, and we invite you to meet us in the virtual exhibit hall to learn more about our most recent technology and services innovations, and to explore opportunities to continue as well as broaden our individual partnerships. Many members of the VisionServe Alliance are well acquainted with Vispero's family of industry-leading assistive technology brands, including Freedom Scientific, Enhanced Vision, and Optelec. From JAWS, ZoomText, and Fusion software to our low vision hardware, including Topaz, Merlin, and Clearview, our technologies are found around the globe, powering technology independence for the individual and accessibility compliance for the organization. At this year's conference, we want to spotlight our Accessibility Solutions business unit, the Paciello Group. Known as TPG, they are a full-service accessibility consulting firm and a leading provider of accessibility monitoring and management software solutions. TPG helps clients achieve accessibility compliance with digital assets, including websites, applications, and documents, as well as embedding accessibility best practices into processes and procedures. This area of accessibility consulting and compliance has grown significantly over the last few years and represents a great opportunity for partnership with VisionServe members going forward. Vispero and the membership of VisionServe Alliance are truly stronger together. VisionServe members are the undisputed experts in vision rehabilitation programming, professional training, and vision services for your clients. Let's make time at this year's conference to explore additional revenue streams for your organization through a broader partnership with Vispero. By aligning our combined expertise, product and service offerings, we can extend our outreach beyond the successful individual client outcome and have a wider geographical impact to broaden accessibility infrastructure availability and support services. My colleague Travis Brown and I will be available during the entire Executive Leadership Conference. Please make a point to reach out to one of us during the conference and schedule a time to say hello, chat informally, or discuss how a broader partnership with Vispero can expand the value you bring to your clients as well as organizations in your community. On behalf of the Vispero team, have a very successful 2020 Executive Leadership Conference.
And thank you, Bill Kilroy, Vispero. Check out their page. They've actually got some really good information on there. Not actually, they just have some really good information on there. And it's very exciting. We enjoy partnering with them, longtime partner of ours. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Sylvia and her presentation.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Stinson-Perez with the National Research and Training Center on Blindness and Low Vision at Mississippi State University. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a little about what we do at the NRTC, as well as some interesting research that I did last year on older blind programs across the country. Then I want to talk about what the future for the Older Blind Technical Assistance Center plans to offer. We have three major projects at the NRTC. Dr. Michelle McDonald is our director, and she is the project director of the Rehabilitation Research and Training Center on Employment of People Who Are Blind and Low Vision. I am the director of both the Vision Specialist Graduate Certificate Program and the Older Individuals Who Are Blind Technical Assistance Center. So the RRTC, or the Rehabilitation Research Training Center, is focused on enhancing the employment of people who are blind and low vision. So through that, our center works on research and provides peer-reviewed research articles. We also provide a lot of training, both in person and virtually. We have many free continuing education courses, which are especially helpful to rehabilitation counselors. To go to our website specifically focused for the NRTC is blind.msstate.edu. I hope you will visit that site, as it is a wealth of information. The Vision Specialist Graduate Certificate Program is also a grant-funded program. It's a long-term training grant. It's a one-year program that offers 4 courses. We accept applications from June 1st through October 1st. Most recently, we are also allowing individuals to take one course or a number of courses and not be fully enrolled in the Vision Specialist program. If you want more information about that, please contact me. But the program that I am mostly going to talk to you about today is the Older Individuals Who Are Blind Technical Assistance Center. We are in the second 5-year cycle of this grant at the NRTC, and we provide intensive technical assistance and training, targeted and universal technical assistance and training, and through the targeted and universal, we offer continuing education at no cost. We also have monthly webinars, and we do a virtual hybrid conference. So I hope you will look into our many resources. We also have many important collaborations, one of which is with Vision Serve Alliance. To visit our website, go to www.oib-tac.org, where you will again find a wealth of great resources. So let me tell you about this research that I did last year. We developed a survey because we really wanted to see what is going on in the world of services to people who are older blind. These are people 55 years and older who are not seeking an employment outcome. We were really pleased that we had 45 out of 56 states and territories participate, so 80% participation. So we feel like the data we gathered is really valuable and really comprehensive. We found that 67% of OIB program managers, these are people who are designated to run the OIB programs, whether that be in a state agency program or contracting out service, 67% said they had other responsibilities. And I can tell you, having dug a little deeper into that, many of them only had small amounts of time that they were able to devote to the OIB program. Let's talk about who provides OIB services. 22 of the 45 that responded said that all of their services are provided by state employees. So they hire the O&M instructors, the rehabilitation teachers or therapists, etc. 10 have a combination of state employees and community rehabilitation providers. 2 said they contract out their services completely. 2 utilize contractors only, and then 1 uses individual contractors only. What do the qualifications of providers, people providing direct services to consumers who are visually impaired, older, blind, look like? Let's talk about the educational qualifications. 22 said that they require bachelor's in a related field, 10 in a related field without experience, 4 any degree, 9 said no degree required. So that's 20% of the people who responded. What are the credentials required? 16 said that they require extensive in-service training. So probably a train-the-trainer model. 8 required ACV-REP. 3, NBC-PB. 4 will take either ACV-REP or NBC-PB. 10 wanted their professionals to be certification eligible. 3 wanted CRCs. 11 wanted to have a state license. And this is the surprising one. 19 did not require or even encourage certification. We found that 23 said they wanted degree plus experience. So that's any kind of degree plus experience. Let's talk about experience, because we know that serving people who are visually impaired and serving older individuals really takes a very specialized skill set and knowledge. 16 of our agencies said they wanted people who had experience working with older adults. 23, so that's just slightly over half, wanted experience working with people with visual impairments. 6 wanted experience with the state service system. And 7 said no experience at all required. There are places that are using paraprofessionals. Fortunately, it was only 13 out of the 43 who responded to this question. So most are not utilizing paraprofessionals to provide services to older blind. 28 of our agencies, state agencies, said that they're using group instruction. And 13 said, or 31% said they're only using individual. And most of those, by the way, are itinerant. They're going to the homes of those individuals. How do states serve consumers? Case budget. 40 of our states that replied do not have a case budget per consumer. So one individual might get very, very limited services, while another might get extensive services. And the 5 that do have a case budget per consumer, we really saw some variation from $500 up to $3,500 per person. Financial needs assessment. So does the income level of the person being served matter? 34 of our 45 do not utilize a financial means test, and 9 do. So aids and devices. And this is a really important thing, because we know that aids and devices like white canes and magnifiers and talking watches, all of these things can make a really significant difference in a person's life. So 28 of our 45 agencies says there's no limit placed on the amount that they will spend on aids and devices. However, when you talk to them, you actually find out that although that is true, they quickly run out of money. And so there is really a financial limit. It just might not be a policy. 13 do have a limit. And one of our agencies actually said they absolutely do not purchase any devices. So let's talk about actual services to clients. How long does a case stay open? Fortunately, 0 said less than one month. 6 said 1 to 3 months. 13 said 6 to 9 months. 8, 9 to 12 months. And 11 said more than 1 year. And then we have some states where cases are never closed. And I think you're going to see why cases stay open so long in the next slide. Average time between training sessions for consumers. And we know best practice says that training should occur frequently and in short sessions. This is not what is happening. 2 of our states indicated that a person will get training more than once in 1 week, which is, of course, the best practice. 11 of our agencies said it was between 1 and 2 weeks before a person got seen the next time. 11, again, 3 to 4 weeks. 7 said generally people wait 1 to 2 months between sessions. I can tell you, generally they're starting over. And then we had one that's had more than 2 months between training sessions. So 4% of our agencies don't close services. 24% more than 1 year in services. So 18% are getting 9 to 12 months. This is interesting to me, is how many hours does the average consumer who's old or blind receive services? 1 to 5 hours, which is a very minimal service. In that, mostly they're probably getting information and referral and maybe some devices provided to them, probably not significant amount of training on those devices. 11% of individuals are getting that level of service. 18% are getting 6 to 10 hours, so not much more. 24% are getting up to 20 hours. And then 7% are getting from 20 to 30 hours. We did have several who did not reply to this question. But clearly what we see from these past few slides is that people are getting minimal services stretched out over long periods of time, and their cases are remaining open for a long time. This is not a very effective model for providing rehabilitation. I would just suggest, if you imagine if you broke your hip and you had to get a hip replacement surgery and you only saw the physical therapist once a month for a year, how effective would that be? Especially if it weren't really a physical therapist providing that service. It was a paraprofessional. This is another thing regarding best practice. Is an eye medical required? 31% do not require an eye medical. So they're really having to take the word of the consumer about what they can and can't see. They might not really know their eye condition, their acuity, if there's other problems. So 22% of our agencies require that the individual be legally blind. Unfortunately, we all know that there are people who have from that 2070 to 2200 that really may have functional limitations. And of course, we have 27% are getting services in that, but we have a significant number who are not accessing services who could benefit. So let's talk about most common aids and devices provided. And I don't think this will be a surprise. Handheld magnification, over 95% are receiving. Now, if we think back to who is providing this, we know that most of these individuals are not receiving a clinical low vision evaluation. Many of the people providing these magnifiers have not seen an eye medical report. So there's a lot of guesswork going on in providing these magnifiers. Of course, talking timepieces are very popular. Wide canes, only 33%. Sunshields surprised me at only 24% because they can make a really big difference in glare control and contrast. And not surprising, 22% are providing video magnifiers because this is a high price item. So this study was conducted under our OIB TAC grant, but I want to point you all to visit our website and look at our best practices document, because we always want to get more clients, to get more referrals, to be known as professionals. And yet research is showing that we might not be providing high quality services. We really, as a profession, need to take a look at the kinds of services we're providing. Are we conducting a pre and post assessment? Are we utilizing professionals who have the expertise, knowledge, and credentials that are necessary to really meet the specialized needs of individuals who are visually impaired, and if serving older blind, who have knowledge of working with older individuals? Are we maximizing our resources to make sure that we're providing the most effective and efficient services? Are we providing services that truly meet the need, that don't just put a Band-Aid on the service, on the individual, so that they keep coming back over and over and over again? And that's one thing that we find at the OIB TAC, is that many of our agencies are having really high levels of recidivism. They're serving a large number of people year after year after year, and a smaller percentage of new individuals who are experiencing vision loss. And if we are going to meet the significant need, the growing need, we really need to look at how we're providing services and really come up with a strategy to ensure that we, as a vision rehabilitation profession, are first really meeting the need and can ensure that we're providing the best possible services imaginable. I thank you for your time. And if there's anything that we at the Older Individuals Who Are Blind Technical Assistance Center can do to help increase the effectiveness, the efficiency, the quality of the services that you provide to older individuals, please contact me. As I said, we provide continuing education at no cost. We can do virtual workshops. We provide technical assistance on a number of topics, and we would love to work with you. And at the end of the day, we all need to remember that visual impairment can impact anyone. And it's impacting millions of our older individuals. And we need to do everything we can do to ensure that they can maintain or regain their independence. I've put my contact information here, sperez@colled.msstate.edu. I look forward to seeing you at the conference and to working with you to ensure that our deserving older individuals who are visually impaired get the best services possible. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a presentation. Now it's time to open up for some Q&A. We are live with Sylvia Stinson Perez. I want you to start writing those questions in the chat, in the Q&A tab, wherever you can type. Start sending them my way. Sylvia, did you want to add anything before we start?
Yeah, so Ben, while we're waiting, I will say that I actually did send out a survey to through VisionServe to our community rehabilitation providers, because I realized that not all of our agencies would be captured in that data. We did not get a significant number back, but it essentially showed much of the same. I was able to extrapolate out where state by state it was showing different. And it was essentially the same kind of results. Because I know that's a question we'll get. People will say, oh, the state agencies, maybe they're not providing as much as the private agencies, and that's not the case. That's not what we're finding.
Well, we got to change that. Let's get some more responses for that. Is it still live? Can that still be sent out again? Can we still send
the survey? Can we send out the survey again? We'll probably do another one next year to see if the picture's better. But yeah.
As it goes.
Well, Sylvia, I'd like to ask those who are on if they found that the data that you presented, is this news or does everybody know it? Because I remember I heard this really for the first time from you last year.
Yeah, last
And
November.
while I had some sense that that was going on, I just found it shocking. Really limited services being provided to, it's already so few people that we're providing them to, and then the extent of services. So is this a surprise to anyone, or?
And I'll say, when Terry was talking yesterday, and I forget the name of her presentation, it was phenomenal. But when she was talking, she said, I assume that you have a quality product.
That's right.
And in the back of my head, I was going, you can't make that assumption, because that's not true consistently across the field, unfortunately. Yeah. And I know that we're all doing our best. Well, I hope we're all doing our best, but I think we can do better.
Yeah, we absolutely can do better. And, those of you out there listening who care about this population, please pay attention to the work we're doing on aging and vision loss, and get involved with us, because this is a travesty. We need to change the situation for older Americans living with vision loss.
So Sylvia, I've got some people asking if they can get a copy of those slides from you.
Actually, this is going to publication with JVIB very soon, but we actually did provide a PDF that has all of this in it.
Great.
I think you're sharing out, right, Ben?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just want to make
it's all there in that PDF. Yep.
All right. Yeah. So those will be in the post-conference resources Google Drive that we're providing with all attendees.
Sylvia, I have another point to raise with everyone. So not only is it bad news for the people we love and serve, but it also illustrates why it is so difficult for us as a field to collect data. Because what is a service? You see how we are just all over the board.
30% receive less than 10 hours of service.
Yeah, and if it's a month or 3 months between and spread over several years, how can we consider that the same kind of service as someone who's receiving 20 or 30 hours a week for several months in a row? I mean, it's just very different. And we need to figure this out as a field. We talk about, we had a very wonderful presentation today about outcomes measures too. So that's part of it, but also program standards are another part of this. And until we can get it together as a field, I don't know how we move forward with third-party reimbursement, Medicare, Medicaid. These are all interrelated issues.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that, having that national look now and visiting many states and working across, and we don't just work with state agencies, we work with many private agencies. I'm not sure that the picture looks tremendously different for VR clients where there is more funding. It doesn't look much better. It's better, but not substantially better.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And I'll say something in regards to, because I led an agency, and by far the majority of our clients were older individuals, because hello, it was in Florida. And one thing I quickly realized is that, yes, we received minimal funding. Well, in consideration of what others received, it was actually maybe decent funding compared to some I see, but minimal funding, certainly not enough to do the job. And we have requirements in Florida, we do have requirements in Florida that every individual has to have a minimum hours of service, which are up on that, upwards of 30 hours. So they get comprehensive services. But what I found is that there is a way to capture some extra dollars, because I will say to you, by far, my strongest donor base was older individuals who were blind, who were our consumers. And they really significantly supported our organization. And that had to be cultivated, and that wasn't our mission to go after them for funding. But when you provide high quality services to people, they engage with you.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if you're providing really poor services, which sadly I have to say, if you go look at satisfaction surveys, every one of these agencies, even if they're providing 5 hours, have great satisfaction rates because people don't know what's available. But if you can really provide high quality services and not just pick out the person who has the Bentley in the driveway, because it could be the person who seemingly has nothing that becomes a tremendous donor. It's providing equal high quality services to everyone. And at the end of the day, they really, those donors, those clients really do become really strong donors.
So I've got a couple of questions and comments that are coming through here. Mike Walsh is asking, with the tsunami of older individual clients coming as the baby boomer generation comes our way, do you have any thoughts about how the services will be paid for, the needed services?
I don't. And I can tell you that RSA, who is the funder, the Rehabilitation Services Administration, is the one who puts out the dollars for VR, for transition for older blind. They are equally concerned about that, because one of our projects right now is they recognize that significantly less than 5% of people who are eligible for services receive those services. And they said, well, what can we do about that? And I said, well, going back to our Aging and Vision Loss Coalition, one of our 3 years goals was to create greater awareness. So we actually had a little bit of funding left over in our last grant cycle. And I went and said, hey, can I use this to create a national PSA? And they're like, we love that idea. And they're like, we approve it. And then they called me up and they go, what happens if all these people start calling? So they're like sitting on the edge of their seat going, this is great, but maybe not, because we don't know where that funding comes from. And that's why the AVLC, the Aging and Vision Loss Coalition, the funding committee, the policy group that I know is meeting on the other side over there, those are really important, because we can't put all of our eggs in this one basket of RSA funding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cheryl Brown comments, I feel we in Florida are fortunate due to the contractual requirements of a CVRT and so many community rehabs agencies providing services. Not only is the CVRT a requirement, but so are the hours.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I have learned that I have learned where if I had somebody who needed services, there are very few places I would send them, or few states I would send them, and Florida is on the top of the list of places to go. And yeah, it's tough there with the requirements, but let me tell you what, at the end of the day, we know our consumers there got great services.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, Lee's over here, like she's in church, like, amen, come on.
Yeah. In fact, I used to think, oh my gosh, we're so poor and we're so here in Florida. But really, it's one of the models. Maybe we ought to present the Florida model at one of the conferences, just so other states know what's happening.
Yeah, we should.
What can be done.
But I think that we need to be ashamed that those who, and I don't want to put you like, I don't want to super shame you, but I do want to shame those who, and I'm going to say it, it's CEO starts with you. You have to have a mission that says our clients, serving our clients with high quality services comes first. Because I have heard many professionals that working out in the field going, I wish I could see a client more than once, but that's how much I'm allowed.
Right.
And so we owe it to our field, to our profession.
Yeah, absolutely. Neva Fairchild is comments. Not only is it with the service hours limited, but if the link between those services are too long, the
Mhm.
information doesn't stick.
You start over
Yeah.
and over and over. Mhm.
Says, yeah, that you brought up that point and made me think that in the RSO, they're going to need to look at service hour and time for people over 55.
Mhm. Mhm.
I also have a comment here from Kim Gibbons that says originally the OIB was designed to introduce seniors to DOR, and 10 have become homemaker cases, and 10 have them become homemaker cases. So I think that's why the number of hours is so low, since the WIOA and the
Yeah.
loss of homemakers, the need for more training and better quality of training becomes necessary.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a shame to have that disappear. But I am also going to add that we have not had that homemaker status. I talk like I'm still in Florida running an agency. That has not been around, Lee, in how long? I mean, I can't remember when we were able to use that.
Too long.
A long time. And so I'm not sure that that's a really great excuse. So, yeah.
She also asks at the end of that, how can we influence funding to come to the realization that more funds are needed to give a better quality of service?
Public policy.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It's all
disagree with you.
about it's about getting more federal dollars and state revenue too. Some of our states are going after general revenue dollars, and that is an effective thing to do as well.
Absolutely. Well, I want to give our listeners here just a few more minutes to ask questions. We still got a good amount of time before the hour. You know, if we end early, that's, I'm sure, not a painful ending to be able to stretch your legs a little more. But Sylvia, what is OIB, TAC, and what resources are out there that we can provide for these listeners to make sure they know everything that you all are doing?
So definitely visit our website, www.oib-tac.org. We do a monthly webinar. And those webinars are generally aimed at direct service providers because that's generally not our typical audience. Our typical audience is more on the administrative side. But our monthly webinars are certainly aimed at more of the direct service providers. And it's always the third Friday of the month at 2. We do a monthly program managers call with our OIB program managers. And I've actually heard, seen a few at the conference. We sponsored a couple to come to the VisionServe conference. But we do a call with them, and that's closed to our program managers. But it's really exciting because we always have at least 30 states and territories represented, and oftentimes 40 or more. So we are really trying to build those collaboration pieces, really trying to strengthen the programs by helping each other figure out, okay, if you have a great policy, can I use your great policy? And you know, the OIB TAC is not just for state agencies, it's for any agency providing services to older individuals who are blind and visually impaired. So 55 and over without an employment goal. But anyone can access our website, which has tons of documents, sample curriculum, sample assessment forms, links to resources. We also have a ton of continuing education that has ACVREP, CRC, and NBCPB attached to it, all at no cost. Most of them are 1-hour courses, and we have some that are more extended than that. And we're building out those courses all of the time. And if you have sample documents you want to share with us, we would love that. Like, we will be promoting that outcomes tool when they're ready to do that, because that is really you know, a great thing. So it's all about promoting what can we help promote that's really good, and we never want people to have to start over and recreate the wheel. we also are, we did a conference. So I feel your pain, Ben and Wendy and Lee. We did a conference in September virtually. Feel your pain, people. We have decided that we were able to engage 49 states and territories is what it came out to be, 49, and with 230 people. So our conference from now on will be a hybrid conference that includes a virtual component where we can have other people participate in sessions. And those are on our site right now. All of those sessions from September are sitting out there on our site.
Yes, I can say we include the NRTC notes, the monthly notes in all of our e-newsletters because it's just fantastic resources between scholarly articles, webinars, documents, resources, links. It has been a great resource. So folks, I hope you're seeing that in our e-newsletter as well.
And if there's anything people can think of, like if you have an idea of how we can be of help. And to me, like I was laughing when I was hearing the chat presentation, the Claudia's presentation. I am definitely an action-oriented, give me the point, but I'm also that big harmony person too, because I love to connect people and build collaboration. So if you can think of any way, anything that we can do, we have a Zoom account. We're happy to host meetings, to host things, to bring people together on topics, whatever it is. If you want to, do a webinar with us, call me or email me. Email me that. That's the way. Yeah.
She's got a Zoom account. Awesome. Do you mind just running the rest of the conference for us then? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, not me. I brought in 2 young ladies who were skilled.
There you go. There you go. Well, they brought in one young gentleman. Skilled is questionable.
He's a lot older today.
It's tough. It's tough.
I have a question from the audience here. Donna Sue Sullivan asks, is there any data indicating the number of clients on a caseload and distance traveled that allows for high quality services?
We did not collect that data, but I can tell it's kind of all over the map. I mean, there are some that they're traveling, I can think of one of my friends who's in Wyoming. They cover the whole state of Wyoming. They literally have to go and she spent weeks away from home because she's going to see clients to provide O&M. And so it's all over the place. And I will also add that urban and rural, it really doesn't make a big difference because if you're in a rural area, you're driving far. If you're in an urban area, you're probably in traffic. So.
Well, I hear that. Well,
the barriers are great.
Well, Sylvia, we're going to make sure that we include lots of links and pointers to your site in the conference resources. We'll provide the slides from this fantastic presentation. I want to thank you so much for all of your help today and for just being able to share this difficult news, but also very important news to get out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sylvia.
At the end of the day, it's all about making sure we provide people with good quality services that makes them independent.
Somebody say amen.
Amen. All right, for those.